Hi everyone, Dr. John here from FIFO Focus for the next Sunday session. Now, one of the things you've probably noticed when we're on Red FM is that I always recommend that we engage in exercise to help reduce anxiety and even relieve depression. And I just wanted to take a moment to explain why that's so important. When we're going through anxiety, our brain actually triggers the release of two hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. And these are immensely powerful. They kind of make heroin and cocaine look like Disprin. And they're designed to have a really massive impact on our bodies as well as our minds. So for example, in preparation for fighting or running, the fight or flight response, all of the blood is redirected from our organs out to our muscles because they're going to need it for doing either of those things. And that's kind of why we're left with a bit of a queasy feeling sometimes when we're getting anxious. Our heart also beats faster and stronger. Our breathing changes, so we breathe a little bit more deeply and a little bit more rapidly. We're loading oxygen for energy. Our muscles tense up in anticipation of fighting or running. And we even do things like we perspire more, but it's a different sort of perspiration than you would get working in the garden. It's actually greasy sweat. All of the oil glands in your skin turn on to make you slippery. So if a tiger's trying to grab a hold of you, you've got a better chance of slipping away. So that's why we need to get rid of the adrenaline and the cortisol when we're having an anxiety problem, in particular something called a panic attack. The best way to do that is by burning them up. Now, obviously we can't go around fighting people or running away from them, but exercise is a really good substitute for that. The really important thing to remember though for exercise is that it needs to be done for what's called a long, slow burn. So if we want to reduce the levels of adrenaline and cortisol, we need to exercise for a longer period and at a lower intensity. The main reason for that is that our brain really only has one way of dealing with any sort of stress or anxiety, psychological or physical, and that's the release of adrenaline and cortisol. And if we go too hard in our exercise, we don't actually get the benefit of reducing the adrenaline and cortisol levels. They kind of stay the same. So that's why it needs to be for a longer time at a lower intensity. The really big advantage of exercise though is that it produces things called endorphins. And not many people realise that the word endorphins is actually short for something. It's short for endogenous, which just means that we make it ourselves, morphine. So yes, when you're exercising, your body is actually manufacturing morphine. And that is one of the world's best mood lifters. So in combination, exercise reduces adrenaline and cortisol levels and gives you a big shot of morphine. And so that's why it's one of the best things that you can do for relieving anxiety, stress, and even depression. I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you in my next Sunday session for FIFO Focus. Bye for now.